Hi everyone, my name is Dizzy. I am the developer of Project Rend. This video is meant to act as a recap of everything that landed in versions 1.5 through the currently available version, which is 1.6.3. Project Rend is a fan-made, unofficial companion app for the tower that I have been building that is intended to act as a all-in-one comprehensive tool that both helps you track your runs and offers you all of the Wikipedia type information, all of the reference data, tools to help you do that in one neatly contained package. It only runs on desktop. There's sort of some mobile phone stuff, which I'll show you in here, but it is meant to be a powerful emulator-based tool that helps you play the game, you know, at that peak level if you want to, or just keep track of stuff because it's cool and charts are fancy. Most importantly is the account switcher, which we'll get to in a moment, but I want to go back home real quick and talk about all of the different patch notes, things that have gotten on since then. This video is going to cover version 1.5, which is a huge jump from 1.1 because so much happened between these two patches, and everything up through now. I'm not going to go through this list painstakingly. If you have the app, I highly encourage you to come take a look and read these patch notes if you're so inclined. They're also posted to the website now if you want to read them there, or maybe have your friendly neighborhood LLM go through them and give you some kind of a summary. But I will do my best in this video to account for everything that has happened in it. Starting with 1.5 was the Project Rend birthday update. The 4th of July, which is the day that I dropped this update, was meant to be the 1-year anniversary, Project Rend's birthday, of it being available to the general public, then as an alpha build, but now of course in full production since we've been in 1.0 for I think 6 months now, which is pretty wild to think about that it's already been a whole year that it's been out, but a lot's happened. The most important thing that I can talk to you about is this multiple accounts thing and the automatic emulator pull. Those two things are the most critical change, the most exciting things that's happened to Rend since it's been out. I'm more excited about building for this app and for the community than I ever have before because of all of the cool stuff that doing that unlocks, such as something we're going to discuss in a minute. This is the run in progress listener. We're going to talk about that momentarily, but I want to go over, if you are a brand new user and you want to create a new account, this menu will pop up in a bit of a smaller screen as soon as you load the tool. But if you are an existing user and want to get the emulator stuff set up, you'd go to settings, and then you'd come and make sure that you are activated on your own account. So make sure the little power on guy is there, and scroll down to and ensure that the recommended drop-down option for game save is selected. From here, I like to turn on this single click import and make sure all of these are turned on. By default, they all are, with the exception of reconcile tournaments. I like to turn this thing on, single click import, which turns this top button from a view button. So if I leave this off, nothing gets pulled into Rend, but I can see that I can pull my file from my emulator, which has just happened. Now I can see everything that's happening in my game on Rend. It's that fast. So I'm going to do it again just for the sake of it. We watch how quickly it pulls, and what is this? Maybe about 5 seconds later, everything from your save file is here. Consequently, if I want to import all this data into Rend, for me, this shouldn't do anything because my game is in here already. That was it. Pulling the save file, interpreting it, and turning it into game file in Project Rend. All of your labs, all of the stuff that's in here, it takes that long. It's that quick that it's just done. It's imported, it's been processed, and if you go throughout, I should probably create a new account and do this live. So you know what, let me do that. Add a new account, DC demo. Create and switch. It's going to give me a warning when I do this. So I'm going to say, okay, active. It's going to look for an emulator, and then it's going to get mad at me in a second because I already got this user ID elsewhere in here. But I'm going to ignore that and say, okay, single click import, reconcile on, say yes. And then it will say, do you want to link this or do you want to do it into your new account? So we're going to say the new account and all of that stuff. So this is a brand new account. We can get 30 runs back in here. So let me go to my dashboard, my primary page. And so now I've got 30 runs imported immediately. It's not great. It's only, for me, a few days worth of data, but that's what your save file holds into it on its history. It's actually more than 20. There's a small buffer there, but it's a start. If I'm a brand new person just walking into the app, this is a great place to start. I don't have to copy paste each one of them one at a time. Much more convenient, much more passive. Let me go back to this page here. And then importantly, so let me switch back to my real account. If you leave these things turned on, Rend will just listen to your emulator. And if you have mine, like I've got this one set up to watch. So as soon as a new update happens to the backend save file from the emulator for the game, Rend will pull it immediately. So while I'm talking here, if you keep your eye on the top right hand screen, you'll see a little green pop-up come up that says, hey, grab the new save file pull, upload wherever those details were to your Project Rend. And if you're so inclined, this little button here, so this little history guide will tell you what each of these imports did for you. So looks like I probably switched a preset around, so things look like they leveled vastly when really I just like got a level in defense absolute. It's meant to like give you a little bit more if like you're having an error, if something's not importing right, it's all get held in there. So that's all you have to do to get set up. Make sure this automatic is turned on, or you pick whatever cadence you like. If you use Google Sheets or Google Drive rather, via Cloud Phone, I've lowered it to 30 minutes. We were having some issues with people hitting it too often and it was knocking the Google token over. Version 1.7 will let you bring your own tokens so that you can pull it every 5 minutes if you want, or every minute, or really every 5 minutes is as low as you need to go, so that you can get as high latency or low latency as possible, high frequency as possible, so that you can do whatever it is that you want to do. The next big, cool, important feature is the run monitor. People seem to really like this. I've heard from quite a few people, they just kind of sit here and watch it, and it shows you not only what your run average is, which is the same as this number. So if you take all the time, including the intra-sprint time, this is what my total run average is, but really what I'm doing, so if I turn off my intra-sprint, I'm actually doing more like 24 Q an hour, almost 25 in this run. So it gives you like a more honest sense for what your econ is actually doing, and you can also see like what's the noisy version of your econ. There's a lot of stuff happening here. It also pulls your perks, so I can see the exact order of your perk or my perks. And then, so everything looks like I hit a perk wave requirement kind of late off my sprint, but got a bunch of stuff. And then, yeah, I can see, so if I didn't have all my perks maxed, I could it pulls your perk priority list. I'll tell you, it's going to take you the next 5 perk pulls to get this one completed or whatever. So you can get a little bit of a test for when is this going to finish and why, because of what I put in front of it. All of the cool, what does my damage look like? How does it compare? Which is this little green bar. So I'm doing slightly more projectile damage than usual. And maybe I've earned more armor shards than I typically do this run, which is great. We love a module shard. That's why I'm doing tier 20 in the first place. One other thing to highlight is this import from phone, import to full app. So if I turn this on, Rend acts as a local LAN server where I can send a run from my phone to my computer over my local network, and Rend will just receive it. I probably should release a short, maybe I'll do that in a day or two here, where I pull a phone run and then I just send it from here and you can watch it land just via the app. It's pretty cool. Or if you want to have Project Rend mobile, it kind of works this way, but it's not like you can just walk around with it. You still need to be on the same local area network at the same Wi-Fi as your computer, because your computer is the server, not anything else. But this is where I'm testing how Rend mobile would look. But you can run the full Rend app in mobile mode. So I've done a fair amount of work to make this look nice in a smaller footprint. If you want to see how Project Rend would look on a mobile phone, it's in there. There's a lot of cool stuff coming for it. The run monitor doesn't work super great in 1.6.3, while in 1.7 there are some improvements that are coming as well. Next, Dissonance page. So Dissonance wasn't really supported before, but now it is. So now I've got these cool graphs that tell you like, did you hit 5,000 or not? And then what is your level of what's helpful to you? And then there's also the coin list. So basically, what is this number look like across all of your different tiers? So if you do a utility run on one tier but you didn't do the ones before, you'll get a really jagged looking graph instead of what is normally a pretty slopey standard up to the right graph that this is. But I'm farming tier 20 because this is the right one for me, but this just gives you a visualization across all of your Dissonance runs and everything else, what this translates to out here. So pretty large numbers. There is going to be a slight difference, and you probably can see it just by looking at the screen here, because not all of the themes and relics are in Rend right now. 1.7 will have an update that will make it so that I can update them remotely without having to update the entire app for everyone every time a new relic is added to the game or a new theme. It's just unsustainable that way, because that means fully updating the app, releasing a full build, and instead I'm just going to have a cloud server that sends out a little text file that says, hey, these are the currently available relics. If you have them, here are their identities on the save file, and then you're good to go. The other big thing that is worth showing off is that the lab page now has this really cool, if you're importing your run, save or research so I can look at what is actually happening in my real life lab, and these things should all match. And yeah, the numbers are dead on. So my speed ups are within a single gem of what the actual truth is, and this is just because this probably went down and we haven't gotten a new save file in the last few minutes to update this. But I can see my runs, I can click them, and I can see, okay, when's this gonna finish? What days are we gonna have stuff come in on? When are my costs gonna incur? And if I really wanna see the big version of this, I can go to the lab planner here, and I can see on what days are things going to come in and what are they gonna cost me. The lab planner rebuild, I procrastinated on for a long time. This is something that I built. I built the first version of this pretty early on in the Rend history, and I was pretty unhappy with it. People liked it. There were a lot of really small things that were wrong with it that were just irking me, that I finally took the time to sit down, rebuild it, think deeply about what this needed to have in it, and then, yeah, put them all here. This will be collapsible in 1.7, but right now it just kind of shows you. So if I had really expensive labs, this would be much more sawtooth looking, but because I'm running cheap stuff right now with just a bunch of health labs that basically cost me nothing at my income level, it's just this nice upward line. You can see a tiny jagged tooth there, but doesn't really affect anything. Once this Echo lab gets a little higher, that will start causing that sawtooth to reappear again. But this is all easily configurable now, and you can drag labs between slots, which you couldn't do before. That was something people wanted. And if you want a short list of things that you want to prioritize, it's all here. I'm not sure why I added so many of them. I think I was testing to see what long would look like. I think I probably need to make this a scroll bar, but it's there so that you can not have to remember the stuff that you think you want to do next and maybe aren't ready to obligate to a specific lab slot just yet. Then you can just keep your mental short list there for you. Worth mentioning very briefly, I moved the cards page off of this left-hand bar and into the workshop just so things are a little bit more compact. If you're watching this video, I'll give you the preview of this entire section. Actually, most of the app is getting a full rewrite in terms of the way it looks, but that won't be ready until after version 29 of the tower comes out, but it is prepped and ready. I'm just not showing it off today because it's not fully built out, and I want to make sure that all of the things that you're seeing in a video once it's released is what's available to you as a user, not what's coming next. One thing worth pointing out, presets are here. You can now load your workshop presets quickly and easily back and forth without any material problems, and it is looking for, so for those of you that have presets, and we are all going to have presets pretty soon, version 29, it's easy to track them here, and then maybe I'll add some more comparison tools in the future, though those are not built yet. The next thing I want to show off are some of the tools that I built. So this page got a rewrite in terms of how you select them. They used to be kind of these big chunky looking cards. Now it's a nice list. I moved all the helpful links in here. Some of the new stuff came from one of the mods from the Project Rend Discord. He is a brilliant data scientist. He built a bunch of stuff which I've adopted into Rend. So there's a lot of cool stuff in here that had gotten rewrites, changes, etc. One of the most important ones is this bot optimizer, where it's doing a lot of math. I did a lot of work to this to say, okay, assuming that bots are online for this amount of time, how many enemies are they going to kill, at what rate, blah, 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 blah. Assuming you're at 56 spawns a minute, or per second, or whatever it is. What's the best upgrade? So this is my version of effective paths. This is the earliest beginnings of it for the bot optimizer, but you should keep an eye out on what else is to come for that. I have a lot of appreciation for the Effective Path Sheets team. They've been incredibly kind and really great to work with, but people have been asking me for more of it, so I'm trying to add more and more of it to Project Rend. I'm very concerned about making it so that everyone builds the same thing, so I'm trying to do it my way that reacts to your needs, but that's why it's going to take me some time to get that effective. But this is the first version of it because some of this stuff is relatively unambiguous as to what is best to do next, and in those places it's easy for me to kind of just do that. Other things that are built and are cool are the weekly farming planner, which tells you, hey, if you have 24-hour auto rebuilds on or restarts, here's how often you should be running things, and then also here's what you actually did. Here's your actual history. I'm probably going to take this your actual week graph and put it into the farming tab, but haven't done that yet. But it makes sense to put that there too, because I think there's a lot from this and other tools that need to belong elsewhere in the app. There's a lot of like experiments that go on, especially on this page, where I build things that I think are interesting, and maybe I'm just test fitting them for where else they should live in the app. This is one of those times. The other thing is I redid the tower simulator, so now it's not just a CC simulator, it is a full-on simulator for how things work, the black holes work. It's not perfect, it's still a toy. but it does a pretty good job. I'm pretty happy with it. And now it also loads your actual tower values in it. So if I start, I can, simulate the death wave. I can spawn bosses. I can, I can set enemy health so that death wave isn't so strong. Black waves pull stuff in. It's cool. I'm having a lot of fun. The bullet shoot, it doesn't work like the game does, but it's close. There's a lot of stuff that I still like. Chain lightning doesn't work in there. I don't think the spotlights have a multiplier effect, but you start to get a sense for how well some of your CC is working and like what stuff will do. Landmines are in here too. That's what those orange things are. It's cool. I'm having a lot of fun with this one. I need to dedicate more concerted time to it, but it's getting there. Yeah, the landmines are rotating in the wrong direction. Just like, it'll come. But it gives you a good sense for how things kind of work and look. A small little thing that I added in here is this module copy simulator. It now will show you how many it takes to get to each rarity, not just the ones that just the 5-star. So that is one tiny little thing that I added to this. So if you're earlier in the game than I am, because of course I have a lot of ancestrals, it tells you just not the completed gem count, but everything in between as well. That was a requested feature, so we built it. The dashboard screen, I don't think it's changed too much. It does show you all of your currencies, how much your lifetime is, and I changed the generate screenshot buttons that it makes one giant square screenshot instead of one really long one, so it's easier to show people because Discord doesn't zoom well on long screenshots, but it does on ones that are, I think it's 16:9 ratio. So I've changed that. It works much better. I'm not going to generate a screenshot now because it does take like 10-15 seconds, and that's just a lot of dead time in a video. But a couple things have changed in here. This page will continue to get updated as things in the game change. One thing that I did in the vault page, so I don't go all the way over there, is I've made a couple of the ones that are kind of wastes of keys to red ones. So like, just don't buy these. I think by the time you're at this point in the game, you will figure that out. Maybe not the wall one, but these three are obviously not worth doing because they're the per wave upgrades and there's just nothing for you there. But I did make them red, so at least like if you're new and you're thinking about the vault but you don't have access to it yet because you haven't gotten to Legends, then like you can get a good sense for what do I not want to buy. Some of these other things I think I could debatably say, like bot cooldown sliders, but the time you're this high in the harmony tree, you don't need them and should not buy them. So like maybe I'll make those red too. We'll see. But nothing else is too much different in this page other than I updated the fonts, I made things prettier, and I changed the shard optimizer. This is in the module page too, but this will tell you very visually and upfront what do I take away, what do I add to in order to balance my modules to get the best outcome for each. I don't bother with these too much in terms of rebalancing stuff. I do want to, I always keep my generator as close to perfect as possible, which is why it is currently it doesn't have any red or green on it, because coins are coins and those matter a lot. But I don't really see the point in managing my health when I barely use it anyway, although I have been doing health labs lately and they're helping quite a lot with overcharges. So if you're dying to overchargers, maybe you want to think about more EHP. It always comes back around to do hybrid. Okay, moving along. I think that is actually everything that is relatively new in Project Rend for version 1.6.3. There was a lot of stuff that I did under the hood. I really tried to speed up the app. I tried to put a lot of more efficiency into it. I wanted to make things work better. A lot happened under the hood as well. And there's an enormous amount coming in the next version of Rend, which I'm prepping for releasing after version 29. I'm going to have a lot of work that I need to do for whatever we're getting in the next version of the game. It will take me a few days. I'm doing this by myself for the most part. Kitty is currently publishing a book, and so I've had less of her help of late, other than her consulting with me and talking to me about stuff that we want to build. But it's been a one-man show in terms of the development onto the code while she gets that book published, which I'm very excited to read or probably listen to because the audiobook samples I've heard sound pretty cool. So for you, if you are still with me, I am extremely grateful for you and that you've stayed with me on this journey of Project Rend, that you've listened to what is probably a 30-minute now video. I'm not looking at the timer. If you don't mind, I would love it if you liked the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want. Updates are really infrequent because I just don't have time to make videos a lot because I have a full-time day job. Share Project Rend with a friend. Tell someone about it. Tell them why you love it and what it does for you. I'm super excited for what the save file import means for Project Rend and how powerful it can be for what the app now can do and what I can build for it. Things I've had in my head that I just couldn't do are now possible, and you're going to see that over the next few evolutions of the app as we move forward. So thank you so much. I will see you very soon. I'm looking forward to telling you more about 1.7 when it comes out. Until then, bye.